So I have been thinking about starting to trade options. And this wouldn't be the first time that I started dabbling with options. I messed around with them briefly over the past couple years, mainly just buying out of the money calls, basically how everyone gets into options, trying to buy a small contract and hit big and make a huge profit. That's how I feel like most people get into options. If you're not familiar with options, what they are, really quick, it's basically the right to buy or sell a number of shares at a specified price by a certain date. And it can be a little bit complicated. There's definitely a lot of other like videos or books and shit like that that you can read or watch to learn more about it. That's not the point of this video, is to teach options, so I'm not going to get into that. But I kind of want to talk about, why I'm thinking about trading options, what the purpose is, what my strategy would be, my goals, all that kind of stuff. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So let's start with this. Where did this idea come from? Why do I want to start trading options? So I I'm looking for more ways to make money, right? My job is okay, it's paying the bills, there's money left over to save and invest, which is great, but I want to make more money. I want to be investing more aggressively. And I I want to find ways to do to excuse me to make more money without necessarily trading more time. I have my full time job, and I've actually been looking at a part time job on the weekends or during the week a few nights. So I am looking into that as well. But even with that, it's just not enough. I want to make more money. So that, coupled with the fact that I don't love my current job right now. I've made a video about this. I've made a video about, some of my complaints, if you will. I try not to complain about things because people always have it worse. But I do feel like it's worth, talking about different things because I feel like a lot of people can relate to certain situations. And I know for a fact I'm not the only person who does not like their job or the company that they're working for. So I like to post things that people can relate to and hopefully help them out with. But that's not necessarily the point of this video either. So let's get back on track. So the idea of trading options, I have some money set aside that I feel like I could use in order to make some extra money, right? Buying and selling options. And, you know, my strategy would be the basic selling puts to get into a position and then selling calls to get out of it, right? So, let's say a stock is trading at $50. I can sell puts with a strike price of $45 as long as I'm comfortable getting in at that price. And then, once it's that contract is exercised, if it ever is, and I end up purchasing those shares, I would then sell calls at least that $50 strike price, or maybe 55. I don't know. I haven't figured out the exact numbers yet. This is really just a hypothetical situation. But effectively, if I do this with, stocks that I'm genuinely comfortable with holding at the price that I get in with, there really should be no problem with the strategy, unless, of course, there's a massive drop or a massive increase in the stock price. Then, of course, you either lose money or lose out on money, which I understand. That's part of the game, right? That nothing is guaranteed. But again, I want to make more money, and I'm trying to find other ways to do it. That's part of the reason why I started this channel as well. I'm really trying to diversify my income, because right now, all I'm really doing is I have my main job, and then I have some, investment income and some interest. But that's really the extent of my income right now. So I feel like if I can get a second job and then also start to earn some money with options, I feel like I would really be more comfortable, because more income, right? That's the number one thing, but also diversifying my income a little bit as well. And I'm not talking about risking everything on one stock option trade or anything like that. I would definitely roll this out in sort of like phases, if you will. Um, Starting with a company that, again, I believe in, that I like, that I'd be comfortable holding the stock, but also at a price that I'm comfortable with, right? Because I don't want to be throwing thousands and thousands of dollars into, my first stock option trades, right? So I would have to give this a try, figure out my strategy with, something smaller when it comes to the stock price, rather than something like, I don't know, Microsoft or Tesla or Apple or anything of that nature. So it would definitely be like a learning process, as well as hopefully earning some money along the way. So that's what I'm thinking about doing. And that's why, because I need more money. I want more money. And I feel like diversifying my income and just earning more income, it'll give me the ability to continue investing into my larger portfolio, my long-term portfolio. And I think this is a way to do it. And I'm trying to learn more about it. I'm beginning to consume more like content, videos, podcasts, stuff like that to help me better understand the ins and outs of options. Because while I understand how it works, there's so many things that go into it that I'm probably just not aware of, and I need to learn more about it for sure. And I'm not afraid to admit that, right? Like, that's how we become successful and learn things is, admit that we're not the expert and then put effort into learning it, right? And also making mistakes. Like I could end up losing some money. And an important note on that is, any money that I am putting into this, if I do choose to pursue this income source and this investment strategy, it's not going to be money that's like for rent next month. You know what I mean? Like this is going to be money that I can afford to use to learn with and to lose if worst case scenario, right? So that's important as well. I want to make a note of that. So definitely looking into this a little bit more. I would really appreciate it if you guys actually gave me some input in the comments. Like if you have any experience with, options at all, whether it's basic buying and selling or, more advanced strategies, anything that you guys think could help me, or if you have videos or books or anything like that, any tips, like anything you can that you think I could, use and learn from, feel free to drop it in the comments below. Like I said, I'm really I never got too deep into options. I messed around with it a little bit, basically gambling, to be totally frank with you. But I do want to learn more. I feel like if you do it right and you know what you're doing, it could be a solid additional income source. I'm not looking to make this my full-time job by any means. I'm not looking to pay my rent with this, but having an extra few $100s, anywhere from even extra $200 a month, but anywhere up to like $1,000 per month, right? Like if I could pull in an extra $250 a week by selling options, I don't know, that would be awesome, right? Like who wouldn't want to do that? So that's kind of where my head's at with this, what I'm thinking about. Definitely not making any moves like this week or next week or anything like that. I want to start learning more and looking into it and seeing if this is a legitimate way for me to consistently make money and see if my risk tolerance is comfortable with it. And if it is, if I feel comfortable enough, I'm definitely going to try it. And I'll for sure let you guys know what I think and, if it goes well and whatnot. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about this. I've been thinking about doing it for a while, and I think I'm going to really start buckling down and trying to learn more about it. And hopefully, like I said, if I feel comfortable, I'll actually put my money where my mouth is and put some money on the table and see what we can do with it. So yeah, that's it. That's all I got for you guys today. I appreciate you checking in as always. If you're new here, I post all kinds of content about personal finance, like life experiences, really anything I feel like talking about. I just talk about it on here, throw it over some gameplay. I feel like a lot of the shit that I talk about, people can relate to. I'm just a normal dude in my mid-20s trying to make it, and I think a lot of us are in the same position. So I love coming on here and talking to you guys about this kind of stuff. I post every Tuesday and Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, and then on Saturdays at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. If you do like this content, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.